Well, I think we're coming to the end of the show, but I've got a question for you, Robbie. If just coming back full circle on your show, who would be if you could have any sort of guest? Is there anyone? I mean, the obvious one for viewers on YouTube would be your identical twin, Tom Holland, would be your ideal guest.
I was called the working man's Tom Holland.
Well,
I did.
you know from previous conversations we've had, my nephew who does listen to my show, loves the fact that you're a Tom Holland. He thinks I'm talking to Spider-Man right now, so
I'll call
Don't
him on
spoil the dream.
Christmas.
don't spoil it. But who, if you could have someone from, even if it was celebrity, if it was someone from a particular line of work, who would be your dream guest to have on your show?
I really thought about this because I stopped having famous people on because it felt like a way worse of a conversation. I feel
Mm.
like when people are giving you this amount of time and they want a scripted questions, like always, I'm like, I don't know where my mind's going to go. But the best conversations I've ever had have been with people that don't care about the fame aspect of things. They just want to talk and they're really into it. Like they're here to like, I had a guy on and where I'm trying to talk about like him getting into blacksmithing and stuff. And he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk, man. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'm down. Let's do it. But a famous guest or even a guest I really
I'd say, yeah,
want.
it doesn't even have to be famous. It's just that sort of who's the unicorn that you've not found yet for your show?
I've talked to basically everybody, like even a Power Ranger, which I was pretty happy about.
Really?
But
What a real like on
yeah,
TV Power Ranger.
yeah, like he did he was the stunt man for all of them from 1997 to 2002. And
That's
I
like
was like,
a
no
Incredible.
way. And
golden
he was
era, isn't it?
yeah, that's my
That was my
childhood.
that was my era. That was yeah.
He was so hard to get a job. Power Ranger on your
Yeah.
resume, you got the job. He's like, dude, that doesn't work. And I was like, you know how many kids my age are owning their parents' business now? That would fly through the door. You
Yeah.
don't need a doctorate degree.
Mm.
But I guess the
Come in
one guest,
uniform as well. Like
yeah.
full suit.
I told him to stand up and turn around to look at his butt because I was like, that's all you saw in the old Power Ranger films was their butt. Like that's it. Um, but but the one guest I have not been able to get for my show that I've tried, and he messaged me on Instagram too. It was a mime. I messaged him. I was like, bro, I'd love to on my podcast. Right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, we don't talk. I was like, yeah, but you're messaging right
That's
now,
the
and that's a
point.
form of talking. And then he stopped, and I was like, I got you. You know, I got you. I was like, that's it though. I'm trying my best to whatever my mind is interested in, I go and just look it up and see what if that person does that career path. But like I said, I'll talk to anybody. Actually, I'll give you an example of how much of a child I am. So I did go to a fast food place not too long ago, but not for food. For this. This is a McDonald's toy. It is from the Lion King. Okay. And the reason why was my cousin wanted to get a coffee from McDonald's. So I said, all right, let's go. And I said, well, I'm going to get a toy. This dude opens up the door. He goes, here's your coffee, hands it to me. And then I hand it to my cousin. I look over, I'm like, can I get a toy? He just looks at me like, you're an adult, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, but I want a toy. And he's like, all right. And he hands me a toy. He goes, and then I saw that guy amidst the pandemic when everything started opening back up, working at a Food Lion. And I said, hey, remember me? He goes, man, that was a weird night, dude. Like you were like 22. I was like, this guy want a toy. And I'm like, yeah, but you gave me one. He goes, yeah, it was really funny. It really cheered my night up. Yeah, he also has a podcast. He told me about it. But that it was just that experience type thing where it's like I love that with people. I love having this like I always tell people, you can never say I'm a good person or I'm a bad person. You just say I'm Robbie. You got to take me kind of how I go. Like I'll say some things where you'll be like, "What? Like you're an idiot. Like you're special. You're my special guest." And then I'll say some things that'll make you after a long day just be driving home and be like, just start busting out laughs. And I think that's what more people should be like because I'd rather have that than the awkward weather chats where it's like, how's the weather over there? It's like cold, man. It's just cold.
What's the long-term aspirations for the show? Do you see a path that do you just want to carry on until you get bored of it, or is it a kind of how do you see it going?
Honestly, I thought it was going to wrap up at 600. I've been thinking about it recently. I was like, maybe I don't know. I feel like the mindset I live by, people always wonder how to get a good show. Yeah, I can say a bunch of stuff that could be for comedic effect that can make the show amazing. I could say whatever, but if I'm bored in the podcast, then that's when I know my audience is bored, because it's just, I'm not interested. And I've had some that the minutes go by hours. And then I've had some where the minutes go by like a second, and you're like, whoa, like we've already been talking for an hour. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you're actually just having fun and talking. So, I've been thinking about it recently. I want to keep it going. I look at it like, yeah, the everyday thing is difficult, but I need people to understand, like some people don't even want to listen to the show before they go on. I'm like, you don't need to listen to the full thing. 1 minute. That's it. Just so you see, this isn't an interview. Station, that naturalness to it. If more people started doing that, and I know from guests that have been on, have started doing it into their own lives, reaching out and going out of their comfort zones after just having an amazing talk or something, that's when I'll stop, is when, like, if it gets boring to me, or if it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, people are talking again. There's that feeling. And it's not me trying to start a whole movement like, oh, I'm going to charge the era of conversation. No, but it's like, it's so simple, and it actually takes more time not to care. Like, you automatically give them an autopilot answer, like, how's your day going, as you're still walking away. It's like, all right, you could just walk right by me. I won't be offended.
Maybe you should do seasons like we do, because we do seasons because we get to episode 10 and just think, right, we need a refresh, and just
I do seasons, but I don't break.
But well, no, I was going to say you should do seasons, but 600 episodes per season. Give yourself a week off. And then...
I'm on season 6, episode 96 right now, because each 100 episodes is a season.
Sure.
So all the way up to 100 was 1, all the way up to 200 was 2. Yeah. I used to do it on Spotify. It used to be like S2, E3, and I used to have that. But then I was like, let's just do a number, because I'm going to be like, it's going to say season 1000, episode 5, and people are like, I don't know what to do. This is too long.
Exactly. Well, Robbie, thanks for coming on to our show. We really appreciate you taking the time early over where you are. Literally just finished work and then joined us to be on the show. So thank you very much. For our listeners, go and check out Robbie's show, because it is really good. Out of the Blank podcast. You'll find our episodes on there, which were really fun when we done them. But also, I've listened to loads of your shows now, and they're every single one of them is fascinating, really, because you're getting different people on there to talk about their stories and just shooting the breeze, really. So definitely go and check them out.
I was happy to be in Metropolis. I didn't get to meet Superman, but if we can make somebody go into a telephone booth,
that's because you're in the Marvel universe. That's why.
Yeah. This is all new grounds.
Sorry, it's even worse when your mom doesn't know. Like my mama, my buddy photoshopped. You know how they do the copies of the people's faces and put them on famous movie scenes? Took my face and put it on a thing, and my buddy sent it to me, and he was like, look what I just did. And I was like, is this the new video game with Tom Holland where they changed the looks? And he starts laughing, and I'm like, what's so funny? And he's like, look at the photo or look at the video. And I clicked on it, and it's Spider-Man pulling off his mask, and it was my face photoshopped on there. I was like, bro, I thought that was Tom Holland for real. Like, that
Even
sucks.
You know.
And I sent it to my mom, and she was like, I know my own kid. I was like, that is me, though, because we have one difference is in our nose. I have one of my nostrils is a little bit slightly closed from I got into an accident when I was a kid. And I was like, look at the nose. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you don't even know your own kid, yo. Like, how bad is that?